Hey everybody, what's going on? Justin Glover here with another episode of the Results 513 show alongside Brenda Gagne. Brenda, how are you today?
Hey, I am doing wonderful. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. We have another episode of the Ask 513, and today we are answering Travis's question, which I'm going to read the question out. He says, I have been building my email list via ad swaps and solo ads for the last few months. My list is growing quickly, but it seems that I only have their attention for a few days before they stop opening my emails altogether. What can I do to keep their attention longer? So that is the question that we answered today. Any opening words of wisdom before we dive in?
Yeah, well, even if anybody that's a business owner should be doing email marketing, you should be generating, even if you're offline, online, generating email addresses so that you can keep in touch. This question specifically, ad swaps and solo ads, it doesn't matter. Like the answer for me to this doesn't matter which way they're coming in. It's very similar. So wherever you are doing, if you're doing email marketing, this is a great question because some of the things that we can talk about, definitely you implement them into your business, you're going to see a rise in engagement. So.
Yep. So let's dive into it. What are some of those things that any email marketer can do that will overall keep their attention? Sort of maybe some rules of thumb, best practices, and then we can dive specifically into this specific question and in terms of how we might be able to tighten it up and make it look better. So, what are some best practices? How do you keep people engaged in your emails? What are some things that come to mind?
Well, before I can even answer that question, I feel like you really have to understand why they're there in the first place. Because if they got on your list to just get a special deal or a discount code, they have no intention of ever opening emails from you except for to get that one thing. If they got on your list because someone else sent them something that they wanted, and by second chance they happen to get on your list at the same time because you got some cool technology stuff going, they don't even know that they're really there. So before you can even implement any of these really cool strategies, you got to make sure that the people that are on this email list know why they're there, and you know why they're there, and there's a congruent message. That's kind of the first thing before we talk about anything.
Yeah, you're right, and I think it's better that we talk about that first.
I think so.
Because to address this question specifically, and I guess I was just sort of avoiding it, but your source of traffic,
it matters.
It does matter, right? And I'm familiar with the solo ads and ad swap model. And so if you want to do that model, it's totally fine. We have, we're literally releasing an interview as we record this, like very, very soon, on how to do solo ads and hearing from somebody who's built a large business around doing that. But there's some give and take there, right? To do that model and to have their ever-loving attention longer at the same time, that might be a little bit more of a challenge. So really getting clear and understanding, why are they on your list in the first place? How did they actually get on your list? Because to Brenda's point, if they don't care about the topic, or they just wanted the one thing, or maybe they didn't even plan on signing up to your list, they signed up from somebody else's, and they just
gotta work harder
on your list. Like if they don't, like, it's a losing battle if they're on their list from that type of method, right? Because it's already like they didn't come there to get more stuff from you. So you're not going to have their attention. They're just not going to give it to you, whether it's them clicking the delete button or them just, your email landing in their inbox and being pushed down, whatever their process, like you're just not going to win any of their attention. And so you can still do this, but you have to be very, very mindful of, why are they getting on your list?
Well, yeah, I was going to be like, unless.
Yes. Why? Yeah. How can you make it so that they are coming to your list from a very specific reason, and the right expectation is set, and there's a reason for them to continue giving you their attention in their emails and continue to open your email. So what are some other things that you can do that will keep their attention a little bit longer? What are some things that come to mind, Brenda?
Well, again, it comes down to even though it's just like an email list and it's a number and you can see your numbers going, every one of those numbers, emails is a person, right? And it comes down to building a relationship of knowing what they want. So if these people are coming on for something specific and they have no idea who you are, you have a little bit of a harder job to overcome, because you need to do that building relationships, bam, right away as soon as they get on there. If they're there for just a specific reason, they don't care about you yet at that point. They just want whatever it is that little curiosity thing was, or that little thing that they, the deal that they got, or this cool little free download that they got. They just want that. In their mind, instant gratification. Why would I need to keep opening emails that came from this person? I don't really know who they are. So your job at that point, you got to overcome that. Oh, wait a minute. This person not only gave me what I asked for, but now they're sharing a little bit about who they are, why they can help me. And so it really comes to you now as the business owner that's emailing out. If you don't have a relationship in front of before these emails start coming onto your list, if you haven't done that, you've got to do it instantly. You've got to get in there on that first email that they're going to see, give them exactly what they want, and then really quickly transition into how you can help them. You got to embed your story in it, but it's not about you at this point. It's about how you can help them, which means you got to know exactly what it is that they want. Yes, they might have wanted that little click that got them something, but what will that thing that they got, what will that give them? And if they get that, what ultimately will they get? What do they really, really want? Speak onto that, because then they're going to say, oh, wow, this person actually knows who I am. This person knows a little bit more about me. Sorry. Why? Well, okay, so who are they? And then when you have that hook of like, who are they? Who is this person emailing me? And you have links out to a blog or to your Facebook page, and you can build that relationship a little bit, they're going to feel like they know you. They're going to be way more apt to open your emails. So
that's good. And we talked about, we've done a few episodes on story. A recent one,
yeah.
We just literally talked about this, episode 118. Check that episode out, because we talked about, how stories end up selling more, right? So there's a lot that you can use in your emails that you'll be able to pull from that specific episode. Now it's about like Facebook sponsored posts, but that doesn't matter. The story is the part that you're really paying attention to. So just like what Brenda said, from the moment that they come on your list, that's when it's up to you to lose their attention. If they come for the one thing, like, and they're just wanting the download or whatever, like, it starts with who delivered the download. Where does the download come from? If you're, here's a statement: the one who delivers the free thing that they're opting in for, that's the one that will have a better chance of obtaining their attention. If they opt in through, even though they may be opting into your list, but you're giving away a download that you didn't create, that comes from somebody else, that's branded to someone else.
Good point.
It's going to be a hard road to get them to pay attention to you, because
good point, yeah.
What have you given them? Yes, they may have clicked on your link, but if they can't connect that dot and they don't know who you are, if you just start sending them emails, they're going to be like, who is this guy? Boom. Or who is this girl? Boom. Get out of here. All right. So who the thing comes from. So make sure that you yourself are enrolled in that delivery process. That's the first key, because if you're not, then you pretty much lose every chance. And again, you've probably seen without those type of pieces in place, this model, when doing ad swaps and solo ads, just the source of traffic alone, the nature of that type of a list is, and I don't really like using this word, but like the churn and burn type of nature of a list, like that's just the expectations. Like the lifespan for without you doing that is not very long, because there is no relationship, and all of a sudden tomorrow they're on to the next thing that they're looking for. And again, the same things probably happen. The person that's delivering the gift, or this, giving them the deliverable, that's the one that's going to get their attention immediately. And so as soon as you can be that person that gets their attention and offers them that value exchange, and you also give them part of your story and connect with them and paint the picture of how you can help them and set the proper expectations, that's sort of the magic cocktail to get them, like the formula for getting them to pay attention now and in the future. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. You bring up a great point because of the fact that, if you're coming in here and you're just wanting to build your list and you're doing solo ads and you're doing ad swaps, just building your list, getting your numbers up, it's a model and it's a viable model for sure. And if you're just getting started, sometimes that's the easiest way to build an internet business is just get some leads through and get them going. And maybe you're an affiliate because you didn't want to create all of that stuff. So in regard to your point right there, if this is someone else's stuff that you're kind of talking about, all you have to do is bridge the gap. You brought them there. So what is about you that can actually help them? What is it that they're going after? Maybe they're getting emails from this other person. That means that your email that happens to be going out to them too should be like, hey, I am so-and-so, and this is why you're getting an email from me. And you're also going to get emails from so-and-so. You definitely want to open them up, but I'm going to be giving you and tell them, what are you going to do? You should have some links off. If you don't, you should be thinking about this. How can you share who you are in the quickest amount possible? You send them off to a video on YouTube that you have about yourself, or send them off to a link on Facebook that has some pictures of who you are. Just how can you make yourself a real person with value right up front, bridging yourself to whatever it is that you're sending them? You're going to have so much better open rates. You're going to have people that are going to start really looking and opening up your emails. And then you get to be a marketer. You could look at your emails and say, oh, wow, 30% of people actually opened this email today. What was that one about? I should do more like this. And oh, wow, a lot of people clicked on this. What did I do that was special? And you'll start learning who these people are. And if a bunch of people unsubscribe from something that you put out, well, then you've learned, okay, so let's not do that again. Let's work on this. And that's when you start playing the game. And it's very possible to be able to have a completely cold market. You just got to know where they came from, what they wanted, and meet them where they are. And then you're going to be the one that's going to help them. So
absolutely. One final thing, because there's other things outside of this first approach. This is a great first step if you're going with that model. Apply some of the stuff that we've talked about. Then there's the layer of learning direct response copywriting and learning things like how to create open loops and just be a better email marketer, right? And there's lots of courses and trainings and approaches to being a better open marketer. When attention is sort of the goal, keeping their attention, the one that always jumps sort of to the top of the list for me is tension equals attention. So when you can create tension for people, bear with me, if you can create tension for somebody when they're reading your email, you will have their attention, because until that tension is relieved, they will continue coming back to the source. That's usually achieved by doing things like opening loops, by telling them something, or just opening a loop that will create some tension that, oh, I want to know this thing that they just told me, but I can't wait. I can't learn it until 3 days from now or tomorrow. Damn it. Guess what? You've got my attention between now until I learn that thing, because I just created a little bit of tension within myself. Now I want to learn this thing. I know it's coming, but I can't have it right now. Does that make sense, Brenda?
Oh, yeah. Anticipation. So wanting that to come in, you'll be looking for that email. They'll be more apt to open it. And
So anytime that you can do that early on and create some tension for the future, tension, I'm not crazy about that word, but it works in the little phrase, tension equals attention. So, but if you create the tension via open loops or by foreshadowing or whatever, that is one of the key formulas for capturing attention and keeping attention long term.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else to wrap this one up? That's before we close this one out.
Yeah, I would focus on, I've seen this in the past, even personally, it's the quality of your list, not the quantity. So really take some time to pay attention. Go in there and look at your numbers and look at why they're there. Really kind of figure out who that person is, because you'll gain a lot of insight and you'll start getting better results if you take the time to really think about, where they are and trying to meet them in that space.
And so one final thing, you talked about bridging the gap, between the other person and you.
Yeah.
Just to sort of round that story out, we talk about this. This is actually covered inside of one of the trainings inside of Invisible Empire. They talk about bridge pages and sort of the philosophy and the concept behind bridging that gap and why it's so important. So we'll have some links on the show notes page for this episode if you want to check that out. That topic is covered inside the Invisible Empire, which you've heard us talk about in the past. So that being said, we'll call this episode a wrap, and we will catch you in the next one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Bye.